Good afternoon and welcome to the CourtReserve webinar. CourtReserve just celebrated 5 years last August, and the last 5 years, everything in the CourtReserve platform has been driven by all of the customers that we have met over the last 5 years. See, we started out as a tennis software platform, but soon thereafter we became very involved with pickleball, ping pong, homeowners associations, country clubs, public and private facilities, just about any kind of space or court you can imagine, we have customers for. So today's really all about showing you as much as possible about what CourtReserve can do for your organization. CourtReserve, like I said, just celebrated 5 years in August of last year, and we have clubs all over the world. This is a screenshot of our clubs populated throughout the United States and in Canada as well. So first, what we're going to do today is talk about the mobile side of CourtReserve. The mobile app is downloadable in the iPhone and Android platforms. This is at no charge to your players or your staff. Everything about CourtReserve is completely customizable, and it's all around permissions and restrictions, what you allow people to do in your platform, whether that's your staff or your players. So first, on the left-hand side, you'll see that this is completely customizable with your logo. Now let's go through each bar. The announcements tab is our general announcements. This is a great way to notify or send out important information to your players at the club. Anytime they have a red dot, this indicates that there is a new message your players need to know about, whether it's a new spring break camp or maybe a new coach at the organization. Now, the next 3 tabs, reservations, events, and calendar, these are all things based on what you want your players or members to be able to do. So if you allow them to book courts, then they can toggle through the reservations tab. Events in CourtReserve are all those classes, clinics, camps, anything a group of people can sign up for. Calendar is the calendar view of events, and I'll show you more about that in just a moment. Now, another tab we want to mention is the member directory. This is a customizable feature in CourtReserve that so many organizations use. You can publish a directory of first name, last name, maybe email or phone number of your club members, but you can also use this and customize it by groups or even ratings. So if you have a ladies 3-5 tennis team, you can publish a member directory of just those ladies in that group, and they can only see that information. So again, very customizable in CourtReserve. Now, my reservations and my events are all the things that your player has already registered for or signed up for. And then my account, I'll show you in just a moment. So let's talk more about your players or the members, the people using CourtReserve at your facility. Well, based on your setup, they can easily toggle through and select a court or maybe the time of day they'd like to play on a court and make a court reservation. If you have ball machines or other resources you allow your players to book, that works the same way on the mobile side as well. Now, this is a screenshot of an approved court reservation. Now, again, you may or may not have approvals at your organization or allow guests or even charge for court rentals. But again, this is showing you everything CourtReserve can do. So from a player standpoint, I can see that my reservation for my courts has been approved, the date, the time, my name. I can also bring a guest. I've been assigned clay court number 2, and then there's a charge for the court. I can also pay for courts in the mobile app as well. CourtReserve is integrated with 2 different merchant providers, and we'll talk more about that in just a few moments. Again, the reason for this screenshot is to show you that your players can do everything, including pay for a reservation, edit, or even cancel, all on the mobile side. Anytime your player makes a court booking or a court reservation, they always get an automated email that's sent out of the system. Now, this is the default information they will get, but you can also customize this email as well. Now, again, events in CourtReserve are all those classes, clinics, camps, things groups of people can sign up for. So from a player standpoint, I can easily toggle through these categories and then find the one I'd like to sign up for or sign my children or maybe my spouse up for. Again, you can see a lot of information from the player standpoint on the mobile side, even signing up, updating, or withdrawing my registration in a class. Again, anytime I sign up for a class, a clinic, a camp, any of those events in CourtReserve, I can also get that automated email with the information as well as see that it's customized by my club. Now, a second ago, I mentioned my account. Again, your players and members will see what you want them to see. So if you don't take any payments within the CourtReserve platform, then they will not see anything to do with transactions or invoices. But if you do, then they can actually see everything, including unpaid fees, payments they've made, even putting a card or bank draft on file. The My account also shows membership information, ratings, as well as any personal information for your members, like address, phone number, etc. Now, I want to point out a couple of things that are really cool features in CourtReserve. We have something called Player Self-Check-In. This is a USB scanner that we got off of Amazon and tested. I believe it was about 50 bucks, but the integration into CourtReserve allows you to go in and set up Player Self-Check-In, where your players can open up their CourtReserve mobile app. They pull up the barcode and they can easily scan in and do check-in at your facility for court reservations, lessons, bookings, etc. We also last year did our first Wi-Fi integration with a company called Remote Lock. This allows you, if you have courts or doors that need to be locked, you can go in and with the CourtReserve integration, set it up to open the door or the locked gate so many minutes before a reservation, with the player having a 4-digit unique PIN code. So this allows you to have complete control over access of who allowed in and out of your gates and doors at all times. We have a lot of 24-hour facilities that love using Remote Lock for this very system. Now, a popular release we also did last year was our waivers and membership agreements. This allows you and your organization to upload any general liability or membership waivers, and then your players go in and you can see here, they can sign this on their mobile device or sign it at a kiosk at your front desk. You can see their signature, and it also time and date stamps this as well. Now, text notifications were just released 2 weeks ago in the CourtReserve platform. So now you can send out text on events or maybe closures or lessons, anything out of the CourtReserve platform. And this spring, we're coming out with a couple new features around organized play and player matchmaker as well. So let's talk here about your instructors, those coaches who keep us playing and on the court. Well, based on your permissions and restrictions in the CourtReserve platform, coaches and staff have a lot of the ability to do what they need to do on their mobile device, because that's where the coaches are. They're coaching all day long. So they can actually go in and create closures. So if the weather's bad, it starts to rain, they can actually create a closure on their mobile device. They also have a full schedule, so they can see their own schedule and what they have for the day. They can also see colleagues and other schedules if you allow this in the CourtReserve platform. Based on your permissions, they can pull up the entire player directory, easy click on the phone icon, or even send an email. Now, this is a screen share of an event on CourtReserve. This is called the Junior Orange Ball Clinic. Now, from an instructor standpoint, I can see a lot of this information on the mobile device, including the category, the date and the time, the number of registrants. We're going to use a ball machine, and of course, I'm the instructor. Now, a couple of other things from the mobile device, I can register new players, view my registrants, edit this date of the event. I can check people in and also cancel, all from the mobile device. Lessons are a fantastic module in the CourtReserve platform. So there's two ways that lessons can work for your instructors. Your admin, your staff, your front desk, your instructors, they can all schedule lessons, but we also now have a great feature called Book a Pro. Book a Pro allows your staff and instructors to go in and they get to publish their own lesson availability so that players can now directly book lessons with the CourtReserve mobile device and on the desktop as well. There can be an approval, there can be payments, so many great modifications and customizations in the Book a Pro feature. And this is great because now everything can be online and kept up with in the CourtReserve platform, and it can all be on the phone as well. I did want to point out a few things here. So from an instructor standpoint, they're on the court all day. They can easily pull up the next lesson, the court it's been assigned to, and you can see here that this lesson is $100. Now notice that this is not paid. The instructor can actually click pay and collect the $100, but know that this is not going in the instructor's bank account. This is actually being collected on behalf of the organization. And so that is really good because now your players know that when they book a lesson, they can show up to the court, they can actually pay for the lesson right there, and everybody's happy. I wanted to also talk quickly about the check-in feature on the mobile side for your instructors. CourtReserve, we're really big in data and analytics, and the better you set up your CourtReserve platform and the more that you do in CourtReserve, the better your data. So you can actually see how many people checked in for your pickleball camp, how many people were paid, etc. And again, we're really big on helping you set these features up in CourtReserve so that 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, you can have good conversations about exact revenues at your organization. How many people are coming to your classes, clinics, camps, etc. Now, we are really big on education at CourtReserve, and I just wanted to mention that out on the CourtReserve YouTube channel, we are constantly putting out new educational videos, and the one that we did 2 weeks ago was all around how to open up and be successful with a pickleball club. And so I would encourage you to jump out to the CourtReserve YouTube channel and check out all of our webinars and just constantly be in education mode with us. This is the desktop side of CourtReserve. Now remember, CourtReserve is a cloud-based application. So everything that you do flows through not only to the desktop side immediately, but it also flows through to the app. So this is completely customizable to your organization, including your logo up here in the top left-hand corner, pictures, colors, and all of this is exactly what you need it to look like. So if you already have your own website, you can actually use our widgets and embed codes and go ahead and build it to where when it points to something on your website, it'll come directly into CourtReserve. So you can print news, announcements, upcoming events, camp signups. You can even include your own website links and social media links as well. So again, this is the player side. So let's go through and see from a player standpoint what the calendar of events looks like. So let's start with the list of events. Now, again, player can come in, they can pick from a category of things that maybe they want to, know more about. They can actually scroll down and look at days of the week or maybe times of the day, or even whether things are priced accordingly to what they want to take part in. Then if I actually wanted to come in and maybe sign my kid up for a class, let's just take a look here and we'll find a great class. Okay, this is the backhand domination class. All of these colors, of course, are customized by the organization. You can see the date and the time and the cost. You can also see there are 3 of 10 spots remaining. If I click on more info as the player, then now I can log in. I can see a description of the class, the other registrants that have already signed up, upcoming dates as well, and I can see who the instructor is, and even if it's been assigned to a court, what court it's on. So if I click register here, then I can go in now according to who's in my family and who is applicable to take part in this class and sign myself or maybe my daughter up as well. So we make it extremely easy, no matter if you are charging for courts or allowing signups in CourtReserve. Now, if we go to the calendar of events, again, completely customizable to your organization as far as colors go, but we make this very easy for your members to see what classes are full, who has spots left. Maybe there's a wait list available. See, CourtReserve has 2 different ways that our programming and events wait list works. The first, everyone on the wait list gets an email and it's first come, first serve. The second way is called auto register, and that does exactly what you think it does. It takes the first person that signed up, auto registers them to the class when a spot becomes available, sends out a confirmation email that now they have been registered for the class, and all you as a coach or director had to do was set it up. The system does everything for you. Now, you can also come in and create different links for specific junior clinics, or maybe you want to come in and do just men's events, etc. You can also, as a player, always come in and click on My Events and see any events that you are currently registered for, including past events. You can also click on My Waitlist and see any events that you are currently still on the wait list for. All right, let's take a look at Book a Court. This might be court reservations or bookings, that you might call them. CourtReserve allows you to create custom schedulers. You can use this for different types of courts. You can use this for different times of day, even different court locations. So from a player standpoint, if I wanted to book a tennis court, I would click on court. Now here again, you can see this calendar is pretty busy, but I'd like to toggle and go to making a court reservation for tomorrow. You can see here, there's a hard court, a clay court, and an indoor court. So let's make a court reservation at 9 o'clock. Now, again, from a player standpoint, all of the reservation types, everything, the duration, whether you require all player names or just the first player name, everything is customizable to the organization. So if I come in, you can also see different membership costs. CourtReserve is a full membership capabilities as well. And based on membership or player access, you can charge your players different pricing for courts. Now, I can also come in if my organization allows and do first name, last name. I can even select which player at the club is going to play and pay for the guest fee. You can also come in and see here at the bottom that we have a court disclosure, which means I can't finish this booking until I check this box, and then I can finish this. So again, at your facility, you may or may not have some of this customization. And this is one of the best things about CourtReserve, is doing it exactly the way that you guys need to do it at your facility. Now, I did mention the Book a Pro feature earlier. So again, you can set this up to book swim lessons or book specific coaches or instructors. But if we simply click on Book a Pro, you can see here we have 3 different pickleball pros. And I, as a member, would like to make a request basically to take a lesson. So I want to take a private pickleball lesson. It's going to be for 1 hour at 12 o'clock. And then this is a custom question that my club wants to know about me. And again, here's my charge. So if I click save, now my reservation is not complete, or my registration for my lesson, until I come into the cart and actually pay for this lesson as well. This also sent emails to staff at the club, including the instructors, that a new lesson has been scheduled as well. Remember the member directory I showed you on the mobile side? Well, here it is on the desktop side. So if I was a member of the High Performance Juniors, then this is an example of first name, last name. We can see a list of emails, phone numbers, ratings, and even additional ratings as well. So we can come in and create ratings. We can look up different player names, etc. This is great for player matchmaking and really getting people to use your courts and have full utilization at your organization. Now, again, you can come in and create different headers for news, as well as you can, create any information, including password protected or locked information on the CourtReserve side. So you can come in and actually have certain headers and drop downs that only certain board members or certain members of your club can see as well. Now, before we leave the member side, I did want to just remind you that members have everything that they are allowed to see, you give them permission for. And if you are an admin or a sub-admin in the CourtReserve platform, then you will have the ability to pop back and forth between the player side as well as the member side by simply clicking the admin panel. So the admin panel is going to take us over to the scheduler of the CourtReserve platform. So if we actually click on today, you can see a lot going on here. So let's break it down. You can see the day's date. If you click here, you can actually look out as far out in advance as you need to. We have our courts labeled here at the top. And if you have more courts than your screen resolution will show, then you can actually slide the toggle bar here at the bottom. You can also use those custom schedulers for your own staff, and you can create those that show up here on the left-hand side as well. If you need to filter down, you can use our filter feature, which looks at certain types of courts or certain types of instructors, etc. If you use our check-in feature, this is those check-ins. So the latest people that have walked through the door and scanned in with their mobile app, it shows up here and populates what their current club balance is as well. So let's go over and take a look at a couple of really cool features. Now, this is called Combo Court. A combo court in CourtReserve is where you have usually a hard tennis court, and it has pickleball courts sitting on top of the tennis court. Let me show you how this works. So if I go in and I make a reservation on pickleball court number 1, let's just play doubles and we'll play for 2 hours. I'm going to click the save button. It will make an individual reservation on court 1, but also blocks out the tennis court. But we still have pickleball number 2 as an option. So if I come in and make a singles reservation, then you will see that there are independent reservations. Let's just make this for an hour. There will be independent reservations on each pickleball court, but it does split that tennis court and let you know that this is a combo court being used. Now, not only have I seen this for tennis and pickleball, I've seen it for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, cornhole, so many different opportunities to use the combo court feature in CourtReserve. Okay, let's go and talk about how events show up in CourtReserve. Now you can see a lot from this standpoint from a front desk view. So we can see this is a junior clinic, the time, there's 8 registrants, there's 2 spots left basically. You can hover and see that the name of the instructor for this particular class or clinic. Anytime you see a red bar or the $sign, this means that you have people who owe you money for this particular class. You can also see by the check or the triangle here that you have registrants left to check in as well. And then if you hover here over the icon, you can see additional information as far as the class, who created this class. We also have an audit log as well. So you can see here on the magnifying glass, this keeps up with every single action in the CourtReserve platform, what admin or member made the action, who did it, when they did it, and what they actually did for that. So let's click here on the triangle and let you see from a front desk standpoint with the click of one button, all of the information that you see. So here's the name of our class, the date and the time, all of the registrants. You can see the type of membership the registrants have. You can see who has a card on file. You can also see who still needs to sign their waiver and membership agreement. This is their member number, their email contact. If there was a court assigned, it would show up here. And then you can see individual costs, who is paid and who is not paid. If you need to print or email a receipt, you can collect payment. You can also check them in. You can also create your own check-in statuses, such as late arrival, etc. You can also reschedule from this view, as well as cancel their registration. Again, from this view, you can easily go in and register an additional player. So you can pull up the entire player roster from your club. You can easily click register. And then you can actually come in. Let's see, I'm signing him up for all these classes. Thank goodness this is my test account, right? So now when we come back out, we've already signed him up. We know now that he's all registered and checked in together. So CourtReserve really gives you great flexibility from the touch of a button to go in and quickly see and make changes that are necessary at the organization. Okay, let's go and look at a couple different things. Now, if I was the instructor and I was logged in here, again, I could come and look at my instructor calendar a week at a time. I could also click on other instructor calendars, as you can see here, so that you could keep up with, who's teaching private lessons, etc. You can also turn this view off as well. Now, ball machines, again, you can come in and easily from an admin standpoint, make reservations for ball machines. And then consolidated is another way to view your courts in CourtReserve. So if you have multiple of the same type, so if you have more than one court of pickleball, you can easily from a bird's eye view see how many courts you have available and then easily go in and make reservations. Now, before we leave courts, I want to show you a great feature called closures. Closures is a kind of a game changer in CourtReserve, especially for people who are used to having to text, email, phone call when weather comes up or cancellations. So let's say it's going to rain. It's going to start raining right now. And let's say it's going to rain for the next 2 days or 3 days or whatever you need to do to close your courts down. So we're going to open courts back up in 2 days. Once you start clicking on the courts, notice the affected reservations and registrants. These are people who already have things booked and possibly paid for in your CourtReserve platform. Now you get to do a couple of things. You can come in here and onesie twosie reschedule. You can, cancel. You can do all kinds of things. But CourtReserve has made it easy for you. So if you decide to cancel all reservations and events, every single human here will get a customized email letting them know that because of rain or weather or whatever that might be, that their reservation or registration's been canceled. If they have paid, it will go into a pending refund status. And now you can go home and cook dinner. And you don't have to text people, call people, or email people. With the click of a couple buttons, we have made it really easy to close your courts in CourtReserve. Okay, let's go back over to events. I know we've talked about this on the player side as well as on the desktop side and the mobile side, but I want to really show you the backside of this because I think it's a really powerful feature in CourtReserve. We have a lot of instructors and coaches that just use CourtReserve just for programming. So this is our Junior Pickleball Academy. You can see we have multiple recurring dates set up. You can also come in and see, again, a lot of the information I just showed you on the scheduler. So we can come in and assign players to show up on particular courts if necessary, which makes it great when you're, dealing with 20 and 30 different people on a lesson or an event in a class and a clinic. You can email people. You can also reschedule, cancel, or add additional event dates. We also have a great copy feature. So when you are making your programming and events, if you like the way that most of it is set up, you can hit copy and then change the date or maybe just the court and easily come up with the next full program without having to create one by one. So on the general info tab, this has a lot of great customizable information. Now you get to choose what you name it. Your organization gets to come up with your own categories as well. You can even do sessions so that when you go back and report, you can see how your summer sessions did over your winter sessions. You can do max number of registrants. You can even come in and do recurrences, whether that's daily, weekly, or even custom. So maybe your class is Monday of next week, Friday of the following week, and Wednesday of the following week. You can come in and end after a certain number of dates or actually by a particular date. You can also put in exception dates as well. Now in CourtReserve, you get the opportunity to come in and allow your players to register for each individual single drop-in date or allow for full registration. A lot of our junior academies will have 6 to 13 or 14 week sessions, and they want their players to sign up for every single date of every single week of the session. You can assign instructors, courts, and ball machines at the event level. And if there is a conflict, it will actually tell you that when people are unavailable or if there is a conflict of courts. We've already talked about waitlist in the CourtReserve platform, and that's the waitlist or auto register as well. Now you can assign custom questions and custom fields to the CourtReserve platform, especially at the event level, which is great as well. Now, I mentioned earlier that CourtReserve has full membership capabilities, which means you guys get to come in and you get to determine if you don't have memberships, what player access looks like. You can have different pricing for your classes and clinics based on player access or membership. You can also require upfront payments for certain memberships. You can require approvals. You can even do different start dates for people to sign up for your classes. So maybe your full club members, they get to register 4 weeks out. But your guests or maybe your others, they only get to sign up for 1 week out. So you're using these as fill-ins. You can actually require disclosures and even assign your classes and clinics to specific revenue categories as well. You can come in and restrict certain members or players who do not fit your restrictions to not being even able to see it. So you can come in based on age, because let's say you're having a junior red ball clinic. You don't want an 18-year-old joining your junior ball red ball clinic. You can also do this by rating. You can also come in and establish that certain ratings are allowed to sign up for your class or clinic. You can also do this by group. So if you have a high-level men's pickleball group or a tennis group, you can come in, and if you add the restriction, then anyone outside of this group will not be able to sign up. And if you check this box, then it actually hides the event and no one can see it unless they are in this group and are able to sign up. So a lot of customization and functionality around the programming side of CourtReserve. Now, I did mention earlier, we do have several types of ways that we can help you with memberships. Membership, again, in CourtReserve is player access. So we can help you with individual player access, family membership player access. We can help you with prerequisites. So if you had a membership this year, next year you can sign up early or actually pay a different fee. You can do trial memberships as well. So we have a lot of resorts that are using this because they can actually set up and give access to people coming and staying at the resort for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, their access to their CourtReserve platform would have expired as well. Lots of great things around membership, including we can help you with initiation fees, taxes, and however you would like to collect your membership fees, whether that's monthly, quarterly, yearly, or custom. If you decide to take payments in the CourtReserve platform, as I mentioned earlier, we work with 2 different merchant providers. One does credit and debit cards, and one does credit cards, debit cards, and e-check or bank draft. They allow you the flexibility to come in, take payments, and then you can pull all of your transactional data in the CourtReserve platform. You can come in and run a sales summary. You can do end-of-day reporting. You can actually come in and see all of your fees, including post-recurring fees, like locker rentals or ball machines as well. We are happy to schedule a call with you and talk to you more about those payment providers and how that integration works within the CourtReserve platform. Now, speaking of integration, we are big on data and analytics. So we are constantly upgrading and helping create reports that allow you to see so much visibility of what's happening at your club, including how many people are coming and signing up to make a court reservation. We can help you run member reports. You know, how many memberships of a certain type do you have at your club in a given time frame? Who owes you money based on balances in the CourtReserve platform? You can actually come in and see, you know, when's the last time someone signed in and made a reservation or signed up for a class or a clinic, so that maybe you could send them an email or give them a call and say, hey, why haven't you been to the club lately? My favorite report by far is the court utilization report. This is a heat map of how busy your courts are. This is incredible information because now this allows you at the club level to have real conversations. So whether you own your club or you have a board of directors or you have a boss, then you can take this and say, okay, Mondays, we definitely need to get a pro in here to give some lessons. You know, Mondays and Wednesdays, we could probably do some afternoon kids classes. Friday night, we could do margarita mixers. Again, we have all of your data. You just need to tell us how you need it to be spit out in the CourtReserve platform. Okay, let's go and talk about point of sale. We do have an integrated point of sale system in CourtReserve if you want to sell beers or Gatorades or bottles of water or visors, and we can help you easily set this up. You can have a checkout process. So maybe your pro shop is separate from your front desk. You can have member house charge accounts where members can put things on a house account. You can swipe credit cards. You can take cash or check. So if we go ahead and tender this out with $16 in cash, then again, this is easily integratable into the CourtReserve app, and you pay for what you use in CourtReserve. So if you don't need this point of sale module, then you don't pay for it. See, CourtReserve is month to month. We never require a contract, and you pay for what you use. So our point of sale and invoicing module is $25 a month in CourtReserve. If you don't need this, then you don't pay for it. We feel it's the best way to price in the CourtReserve platform, and we can talk more about pricing in just a few moments. Now, before I answer your questions, I want to show you a couple of other things that I think sets CourtReserve apart. One, system users in CourtReserve are designated by permissions and restrictions. So admins have full permission, sub-admins have permissions and restrictions given, including your instructors as well. Now, I did mention that instructors have a complete module in CourtReserve where they can come in, set up complete lesson types with min and max, and they can also set up custom instructor pricing. We work with clubs that may have 20 and 30 different instructors, and this allows you to come in and charge each instructor the lesson fee at their pricing per membership that they need, because there's lots of education and experience when it comes to lessons, and that definitely is reflected in the CourtReserve platform. All right, we've mentioned that emails, that we do have automated emails, and those are unlimited in the CourtReserve platform, but we also give you 5,000 marketing emails each month that you can send out to your players. So whether you want to email them maybe about summer camps or upcoming events, we give you 5,000 emails each month, and we also help you keep up with that in the CourtReserve platform. So let's talk about booking settings quickly. These are all those permissions and restrictions from the player side. How many days in advance a court can be booked? At what time is the next day available? We can do buffer hours. We can do penalty cancellations. We can do how many guests can your players bring to your club each month or each year. We can get as restricted as the number of minutes a player or a member is allowed to reserve per day. We can do it by court count. We can also do it by court type. So if you have 20 pickleball courts and you got 40 tennis courts, then maybe people get 2 tennis court reservations per day and only 1 pickleball court reservation per day. We also have a great new feature called sandwich times. This really helps with court utilization. So let's say you put in 30 minutes. This means that you as a player cannot book a reservation on a court that's going to leave a 30-minute gap. So if you make a reservation from 8 to 9 o'clock, it's fine, but you cannot make a reservation at 8:30 because it leaves a 30-minute gap from 8 to 8:30, and the system will not allow that in CourtReserve. Again, if you need rules, restrictions, and permissions, we can help. All right, continuing on down. Hey, let's talk about your players. How are you going to get their information into the CourtReserve platform? Well, there's 2 different ways. First, we have a CSV or an Excel import template that our live chat support team can send out to you. If you have a good first name, last name, email list, and any additional information you would like, then we can, you fill out the import template, you send it back to our team, and we help get that imported into your platform. Or you can actually come out and create your own sign-up form in the CourtReserve platform. Your member clicks on a link that you send them or your potential player, and they fill out all of the required information that you want from them, including custom ratings, payments on file, memberships, waivers, agreements, etc. It really does not matter to us. There's an approval process that you can turn on. So anytime if you wanted to approve new members who are trying to do membership in your platform, you would get an email as well as a red dot, and you could approve or decline membership into your CourtReserve platform. All right, one of my favorite things to talk about in CourtReserve is all the customization, and also that includes all of our widgets. So widgets are tiny bits of code that allow you to embed into websites, and this is a fantastic widget called the Lobby View. If you have a smart TV in the lobby of your organization, you can easily put this in the browser of that smart TV, and it will show your lobby view. So now when your players walk into your club or facility, they can look up at the TV or the smart monitor or whatever you have and see that their league coaching and drills class is on indoor court 3 and starts at 3 o'clock. They can also see additional scrolling information on the side as well. So let's take a look. This is the USTA National Campus. This is their website. You can see here. And when I click getting started, most people would not even know that now you're in the CourtReserve platform. We help you create everything down to the exact colors and logos of your organization. This is Wolverine Pickleball. You can see this is their website here. And this is the CourtReserve widget around calendar of events. And you can see here, if I come in and I actually can click on details, and this would bring me to their more information about their classes and clinics. Let's go over to, this is the kitchen out in Salt Lake City. If I wanted to join the kitchen and so I could play pickleball, then I could click their register and waiver, and this takes me to the CourtReserve membership widget, which means that this is the information that the kitchen would like for you to fill out before you become a member of their organization. So again, we try and build things that you want as an organization. So up here in the top right-hand corner, when you get your trial of CourtReserve, you'll see a couple of things. Besides your name, there's a light bulb. The light bulb is our current idea board. When I say everything in CourtReserve is driven by the customers, that's exactly what we do. This is all of the projects and updates that our development team is currently working on right now. You can come in and vote on the things that are extremely important to your organization. You can also add your own ideas and help drive new functionality in the CourtReserve platform. When we release new functionality, we always let you know by your little red dot as well. So 1 week ago, you can see here, we pushed out some new features and enhancements in the CourtReserve platform. So you can come in and say, hey, is this important to us as an organization? And do we want to implement the changes that have been made? Anytime a club comes up with an idea, we always try and give them kudos for making the platform better as well. All right, we also have a huge knowledge base. So while you're learning to use CourtReserve, you can come out, if it's midnight and CourtReserve's asleep, then you can come out to our knowledge base and look up all the articles and videos that we have made in order to help you and your team continue to grow and learn the CourtReserve platform. Now, one of the best things about CourtReserve is our chat support team. Our live chat support team wants to help you every step of the way. So even after today, you're going to have a question, or maybe you want to jump on a call with one of our leadership team members, then you just jump out, send us a message, and let us know how we can help you. Our live chat support team, I would put them up with anyone else, any other platform in the industry. And the way that you would get a hold of them in the CourtReserve platform is beside the Facebook admin group function up in the top right-hand corner, there would be a little green bubble here. All right, well, I sure hope that you saw some things that were going to be really important in your consideration of using CourtReserve at your organization. The next step for you would be to come out to CourtReserve. We have a pricing tab here, and you can actually come down about halfway and calculate your price by clicking on the orange button. You can put in your active players, courts, instructors, and any additional add-ons and see what your monthly price would be. Now, I do want to mention that active players are those who are active that month in your CourtReserve platform. So even if you have 5,000 members in your platform, if some are snowbirds or they haven't been active that month, they will not count towards your active members in your platform. You can also come out and tell us, hey, I'd like to learn more information. I'd like to talk to leadership about payments or memberships. We'd love to schedule a call with you and your team and answer your specific questions about CourtReserve.